My name is Nathaniel Avila, and I am a podcastaholic. And I'm here with Jessica.
Hi, Nathaniel.
Hi, and this is Jessica, and she's a registered offender.
Oh, no,
I'm
I am
kidding.
not. That's a lie.
I'm just kidding. That's not true. But we're here to discuss part three of the storming of the U.S. Capitol a couple months ago, which a lot of stuff has happened, right? Right, Jessica?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So,
Everything that I thought would happen happened after this. The whole trial, the whole not really doing anything about it because he's not a president anymore. Like that's exactly what ended up happening. And now he can run again in 2024.
that's a load of malarkey. They said that we couldn't do anything because he was president, and now they're like, we can't do anything because he isn't president. Whatever.
Mm-hmm. It's all bullshit. I'll
Yeah.
tell you what.
I'm surprised they could walk around with no spines. Oh,
Yeah, I know.
high five.
Oh, hold on.
There we go. Good job. All right, so the last time we saw our story was everything was like broken into, everything was destroyed, and now we're just talking about all the damage that has been done to the Capitol afterwards. So, excuse me, a laptop owned by Senator Jeff Merkley was stolen. Oh no. So, a laptop taken from Speaker Pelosi's office was a laptop from a press conference room that was only used for presentations, according to Pelosi's deputy chief of staff. Representative Ruben Gallego said, "We have to do a full review of what was taken or copied or even left behind in terms of bugs and listening devices." Military news website SOFREP reported that several secret level laptops were stolen, some of which had been abandoned while still logged into SIPRNet, uh, causing authorities to temporarily shut down SIPRNet for the security update in January 7th and leading the United States Army Special Operations Command to reauthorize all SIPRNet connected computers by January 8th. I saw you shaking your head there. Do you have anything to say?
No, because when you said the laptop was stolen from Pelosi's office, I remember seeing a picture of that man sitting on her chair, like, Jesus. If you look it up, there's a bunch of pictures of him. Like, these people were so dumb.
Did you see like his lately, like in his arraignment, he was like, why I was held in a cell for months and that's not fair."
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
These
you just see
people have
that.
some nerve. They're
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't know what they think was going to happen. Putting pictures, letting people take pictures and post them and do after doing something like this, and then letting people post pictures of the stuff that they were doing, like nothing was gonna happen if they
Mm,
just left.
yeah, I mean, it made it a lot easier to catch them.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just validates my opinion on these people.
Mm-hmm. So Representative
Dumb.
Representative Anna Eshu said in a statement that images on social media and in the press of vigilantes assessing congressional computers are worrying, and that she had asked the chief administrative officer of the House to conduct a full assessment of threats based on what transpired. The CAO said it was providing support and guidance to House offices as needed. One protester was arrested on charges of theft. It was alleged that she had stolen a laptop or hard drive from Pelosi's office with the intention of sending it to a friend in Russia for sale to the country's foreign intelligence service. She was about to commit espionage.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Um, so, and they claim to be American. Let me see. So, Signs, flags, stickers, Pelosi's damaged nameplate, and other items left behind on the riot will be preserved as historical artifacts in the collections of the House and Senate and those of national museums. Anthea M. Hartig, director of Smithsonian's National Museum of American History, said that the Smithsonian would seek to collect and preserve objects and stories that help future generations remember and contextualize January 6th and its aftermath. A statement echoed by Jane Campbell, president of the Capitol Historical Society. So, what do you think about that?
It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, it it makes sense that they would do that. It's just crazy that they they're even there's even a reason to do that.
Mm. So, what do you think about that whole idea of them preserving these things and treating them as artifacts to then be displayed in a museum?
Um, I don't know. I'm on the fence about it because it's kind of like trophies for these people that did these things, but at the same time, it's supposed to be like a historical event that did happen, and those are pieces of a historical event.
Mm-hmm.
But the rioters are gonna see it differently. They're gonna see it like, yeah, we did that. We're
Yeah.
there.
Well, when they all die off, we'll know that. We'll know
They'll still
better.
be there.
We'll know better.
Where
So
is the Smithsonian? Is it in New York?
it's in DC.
Washington, D.C.?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to go.
It is a huge museum. I have been there.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky.
Yeah, yeah. There was the this. I think it's like a collection of like 10 different museums, and they're all like connected by underground tunnels and stuff. But it's a really cool, and they're
Maybe
all free.
we should go
Mm-hmm. You know what I've been
when
doing?
everything's okay.
Yeah. You know what I've been doing lately? I've been making itineraries for like vacations and stuff, and one of them was
Cool.
DC. So got it
Yeah,
planned.
I'd like to go there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when. I don't care when. Just bucket list.
Okay.
It's on the bucket list.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay,
So,
moving on.
after drawing widespread condemnation from Congress, members of his administration, and the media, Trump released a videotaped statement on January 7th to stop the resignations of his staff. Uh, and the threats of impeachment or removal from office. In the statement, he condemned the violence at the Capitol, saying that a new administration will be inaugurated, which was widely seen as a concession, and that his focus now turns on ensuring a smooth, orderly, and seamless transition of power to the Biden administration. Now, that's the closest thing we have ever gotten to a concession speech.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So Vanity Fair reported that Trump was at least partially convinced to make a statement by Senator Lindsey Graham, who told Trump that a significant number of Senate Republicans would support removing him from office unless he conceded. White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany had attempted to distance the administration from the rioters' behavior in a televised statement earlier in the day. On January 9th, the New York Times reported that Trump had told White House aides that he regretted committing to an orderly transition of power and would never resign from office. What?
What did he expect to happen? That if he didn't resign, he wasn't gonna go anywhere? I mean,
That's so
you
dumb.
wackadoo.
I don't know what kind
Think
of
that.
like mental thing he's thinking of. Okay, so in another unusual move, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Mark Milley and all of the other Joint Chiefs issued a statement on January 12th condemning the storming of the Capitol, reminding personnel of their sworn obligation to support and defend the Constitution, that Biden was about to become the commander-in-chief, and stating that the rights of freedom of speech and assembly did not give anyone the right to resort to violence, sedition, and insurrection. They said, as we have done throughout our history, the U.S. military will obey lawful orders from civilian leadership, support civilian authorities, and protect lives and property. ensure public safety in accordance with the law, and remain fully committed to practicing and defending the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. On January 19th, Senate Majority Leader McConnell said the mob was fed lies and they were provoked by the president and other powerful people.
Preach it.
Okay. But then McConnell just like went back to his old ways again. And he was like,
Yeah,
that's
it's
fine.
weird. He flip flops. I don't understand.
Yeah, it's a
He was
politician.
all gung ho about, yes, we must impeach. Yes, we must impeach. And then they finally get to the end of it, and it's like, um, he's not the president anymore. He's gonna quit. I'm gonna quit him.
Yeah, and then right after.
And if he chooses to run, and if he gets the Republican nomination, I back him 100%.
Yeah,
Like,
it's funny because even after the vote happened and he voted to acquit him, after that he made a speech saying, like, we should totally hold him accountable, though.
yes. What is wrong with you?
This guy, he only has himself in mind. He doesn't care about anything else except for his own political gain.
Who is is McConnell voted as the Senate leader by the senators or by the people?
Usually it's whoever the party is in power.
Okay.
Which in this case, he is the Senate Minority Leader.
I don't understand.
So the Senate Majority Leader, who is Schumer, is a Democrat. So he outranks McConnell as of right now. Ever since the
As of right now.
ever since the runoffs.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the
Because
president.
it just seems like whatever McConnell says goes, no matter what. And it just like, why?
Well, because he was the
But
Senate
not
Majority Leader,
anymore.
but not anymore.
Yeah, it's good.
So let's see.
Okay.
House Speaker Pelosi had the flags at the Capitol lowered to half-staff in Sicknick's honor. Trump initially declined to lower flags at the White House or other federal buildings under his control before changing his mind 4 days later. Biden, Pence, and Pelosi offered condolences to Sicknick's family. Trump did not. After Sicknick's death, Senator Ted Cruz received backlash for previous speeches that were perceived as calls for violence. A survey at the Hobby School of Public Affairs at the University of Houston, taken between January 12th and 20th, showed that nearly 1/3 of Republicans in Texas supported the protests and storming of the Capitol, although overall 83% of those who expressed an opinion were opposed to it. What do you think about that? Trump not sending condolences to a person who was killed in the riot.
It doesn't surprise me at all. Not one bit.
How dare you? Anyway, so over 70 other countries and international organizations expressed their concerns over the protests and condemned the violence, with some specifically condemning Trump's own role in inciting the attack. Multiple world leaders have made a call for peace, describing the riots as an angry attack on democracy. The leaders of some countries, including Brazil, Poland, Hungary, and Mexico, declined to condemn the situation and described it as an internal U.S. affair. So they were all like, I'm not touching that one.
Mm-hmm.
So several NATO intelligence agencies outside the United States also briefed their governments that it was an attempted coup by President Trump, which may have had help from federal law enforcement officials. Nanahal Singh of the U.S. Naval War College, and author of Seizing Power, wrote that the attack on the Capitol was an insurrection, a violent uprising against the government, and sedition, but not a coup because Trump did not order the military to seize power on his behalf. So,
Okay.
that's that. So, Twitter made an assessment of 2 Trump tweets on January 8th could be mobilized by different audiences to incite violence and replicate the criminal acts perpetrated at the Capitol on January 6th, and suspended Trump's main account for 12 hours and then permanently. Following this, Trump attempted to access alternate accounts, such as the official president of the United States POTUS account, on the platform to continue tweeting and bemoan the suspension of his account. But all tweets were subsequently deleted and the accounts either suspended or banned. So he tried to use the official POTUS account, which is what he was supposed to be using during this time. But he's like, I don't want to do that. That's lame. But now that he doesn't have it anymore, he tried to do that, but they couldn't do it. So, furthermore, Trump was banned on other social media outlets, including Facebook, YouTube, and Snapchat. In the days following the riots, multiple social media companies began suspending or permanently banning several accounts and users that spread or aided conspiracy theories that led to the storming of the Capitol. In total, Twitter banned over 70,000 QAnon-related accounts. Several members of the Trump administration resigned. Yeah. Oh, got a message. Okay, so law enforcement's intelligence communication. Oh gosh. Law enforcement intelligence communication and operational failures, which allowed the mob to breach the Capitol, attracted scrutiny and to the Capitol Police, and the FBI, as well as other law enforcement agencies involved. The three top security officials for Congress, the chief of the Capitol Police, the Senate Sergeant of Arms, and the House Sergeant at Arms, all resigned. The acting Capitol Police Chief, Yogananda Pittman, who took over leadership of the force 2 days after the attack on the Capitol, subsequently said in congressional testimony that the response to the attack was a multi-tiered failure by law enforcement. In the wake of the Capitol attack, and members of Congress being increasingly harassed at airports, additional security was assigned to them for air travel. Although the inauguration of Biden on January 20th, Capitol Police were stationed at D.C. area airports, and Transportation Security Administration increased its screening of D.C.-bound air passengers. Security was also put on high alert at the Capitol itself. A non-scalable security fence was placed around the Capitol, and up to 25,000 National Guard members were deployed to secure Washington, D.C. in advance of Inauguration Day. A new security perimeter was created for the inauguration, blocking off large portions of the city near Capitol Hill. The Washington Metro announced that it would be closing 11 to 13 subway stations from January 15th to 21st, and rerouting buses around the security zone to discourage people from traveling the area. Many motels in and around D.C. ceased taking reservations and canceled pre-existing ones in the days leading up to the inauguration. So they're really trying very hard to make sure nothing happens. So what do you think about all these precautions and stuff?
I mean, it's a lot more than I thought they did.
Okay, what did you think they did? Nothing?
I didn't think they did anything. Really, I thought they did the very bare minimum.
Well,
I didn't think that they thought that this was serious.
No, this is after the fact. So now, after this whole thing happened, now they finally figured out, oh, this is serious. So
a little too late, huh?
Too little, too late. So many participants in the Capitol attack planned and coordinated their attacks using alt-tech microblogging service Parler. Apple and Google subsequently removed the service's mobile app from their respective app stores, citing its hosting of posts inciting violence and its failure to adopt more robust content moderation. Amazon also determined the cloud services that it had been providing to Parler, causing it to go offline. A researcher scrapped roughly 80 terabytes of public posts from the service, which included more than 1 million videos with GPS metadata. The researcher and her intention was to make a public record of very incriminating evidence against those who took part in the storming. Videos scrapped from Parler were used as evidence during Trump's second impeachment trial. Public health experts have said that the storming of the Capitol was a potential COVID-19 super spreader event. Yeah, so questions have been raised in some media outlets regarding alleged discrepancies in the police response to Black Lives Matter protesters and the rioters who stormed the U.S. Capitol. According to an analysis by The Guardian of statistics collected by the U.S. Crisis Monitor, police in the United States are 3 times more likely to use force against left-wing protesters than right-wing protesters, regardless of whether the protest is peaceful or violent. What do you think about that?
I have no opinion.
You have no opinion? It looks
No
like you're just
opinion.
kind of like too angry to say anything. So on January 7th, Michael R. Sherwin, the interim United States Attorney for District of Columbia, said rioters could be charged with seditious conspiracy and insurrection regarding calls for the president to be prosecuted for inciting the violence that led to 5 deaths. Sherwin suggested that Trump could be investigated for comments he made to his supporters before they stormed the Capitol. He also said that others, including many Capitol police officers who assisted or facilitated or played some ancillary role in the events, could also be investigated. Federal prosecutors were also considering whether to pursue charges under the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, which is typically used to prosecute organized crime syndicates against groups such as Proud Boys and Oath Keepers. The FBI opened more than 540 subject case files in connection with the attack, and more than 500 grand jury subpoenas and search warrants were issued. The FBI received more than 200,000 digital media tips from the public. On January 31st, 2021, the number of people arrested and charged with federal crimes amounted to less than a quarter of those involved in the attack of the Capitol. By February 9th, a number of people criminally charged reached 200. As of February 27th, 2021, more than 300 people from more than 42 states were charged with federal crime, 280 of whom had been arrested. So yeah, now they're arresting people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So acting U.S. Attorney Sherwin said that almost all of the cases charged in federal court have involved significant federal felonies with sentences between 5 and 20 years. Many have been charged with assault on law enforcement officers, violent entry and disorderly conduct on Capitol ground, trespassing, disrupting Congress, theft, or other property crimes, weapons offenses, making threats, and conspiracy. Some criminal indictments are under seal. The majority of cases are in federal court, while others are in D.C. Superior Court. Though a number of people arrested is large enough to defy generalization, at least 17% were tied to extremist or fringe movements, including the Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, 3 Percenters, and Patriot Front, as well as the Texas Freedom Force. The majority were not affiliated with a specific far-right group and had been more informally radicalized by right-wing internet, social media, or television. At least 15% had ties to military or law enforcement. Many clearly expressed a belief in the QAnon conspiracy theory, and at least 27 had previous criminal records. White supremacists and members of the extremist groups participated in the attack. So that's a lot of bad people going on.
Mm-hmm.
So notable arrests include Virginia state lawmaker Derek Evans, who later resigned from office. So we have a Virginia state congressman involved. So Cleet Keller, a former U.S. Olympic swimmer, the leader of the Proud Boys group in Hawaii, Jake Angeli, also known as the QAnon shaman. Remember that guy? That guy was all over the media. No, you don't remember him?
Mm-mm.
Yes, you do. It was the guy with the horns that goes like that, and you have the
Oh,
face.
okay.
Okay.
That's all you had to say.
Okay. Far right activist
They were
Tim.
showing pictures of him from The Simpsons. Like that was the character that he was trying to be? Is that what it is?
The ones that I saw were of Willie, the character Willie dressed up as him. But I have not watched season 32 of The Simpsons. So I think it was on there. I have not watched it yet.
What? It's older. It was an older, like their older episodes.
Oh, there was? I don't remember
Yeah.
that.
So
I,
it's like he,
but I know what you're talking about. it's a I seen a photo of Willie from the Simpsons dressed up in like the horns and the face paint that looked exactly like the
Hmm.
QAnon shaman guy.
So he looks like him.
Okay. Yeah. It might be he was trying to emulate that character, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, I think
Yeah, I
so.
can believe that.
He
So,
is.
far right activist Kim Gionnet, aka Baked Alaska, the 34-year-old son of a Brooklyn judge, L. Brent Bozell IV, a scion of a prominent conservative family whose father is L. Brent Bozell III, and whose grandfather is, guess what, L. Brent Bozell II. You would never have gotten that. It's actually Junior, but Richard Barnett, aka Bigo, the leader of the Arkansas gun rights organizations, who stole a letter from Pelosi's desk. Larry Rendell Brock, a retired Air Force conservative officer from Texas, who roamed the Senate chamber in a green tactical vest with a white flex cuff. Lonnie Kaufman, whose truck was found 2 blocks from the Capitol containing 11 homemade bombs, an assault rifle, and a handgun. Douglas Jensen, who led a mob of rioters chasing Officer Goodman. Robert Keith Packer, who wore a Camp Auschwitz t shirt. William Mary Jr., who ripped off a chunk of Pelosi's nameplate above her office. And Adam Johnson, who allegedly stole Pelosi's lectern. Remember that guy?
Oh,
Huh? Yeah.
yep.
So, on January 11th, 2021, Representatives David Cicilline, Jamie Raskins, and Ted Lieu introduced the House a single article of impeachment against Trump, which had written for incitement of insurrection and urging his supporters to march on the Capitol building. Pelosi named impeachment managers led by Raskin and followed in seniority by Diana DeGette, Cicilline, Joaquin Castro, Eric Swalwell, Lou, Stacey Plaskett, Madeline Dean, and Joe Neguse. Trump was impeached for the second time on January 13th. He is the only federal official in U.S. history to have ever been impeached twice. Good job. You did it.
Mm-hmm.
You did it, Jessica. Good job.
Mm-hmm.
What are you thinking?
Pretty deep.
What are you thinking?
Nothing.
I think you know what's going to what's going to happen next.
Hmm.
So, Senate Democrats asked to begin the trial immediately while Trump was still in office, but McConnell blocked the plan because of course he did. On January 13th, following a 5-day Senate trial, Trump was acquitted when the Senate voted 57 to 43 for conviction. So they had more votes, but they still lost. So, falling 10 votes short of the 2/3 majority required to convict, 7 Republicans joined every Democrat in voting to convict, the most bipartisan support of any Senate impeachment of a trial of a president. Most Republicans voted to acquit Trump, though some held him responsible but felt the Senate did not have jurisdiction over former presidents. Included the latter group was McConnell, who said, "There's no question, none, that Trump was practically and morally responsible for provoking the events of the day," but added, "Former President Trump is constitutionally not eligible for conviction," even though they just decided that before the trial even began. That was the first thing they voted on. Whatever. So what do you think about the impeachment?
It sucked.
Did you watch it?
Not all of it. No,
I watched a good chunk of it.
I didn't.
Yeah, I
It's
know. You
just,
just
it was
said.
just a waste of time. If they were gonna do that, they should have never even done it to begin with.
I know the trial, like the Republicans weren't even paying attention.
Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
know they weren't.
Yeah.
They were just like, yeah, we just have to due process, but not happening.
Right. So on February 13th, Pelosi announced plans to create a commission to investigate the attack on the Capitol, modeled after the National Commission on Terrorist Attacks upon the United States, which is also known as the 9/11 Commission, an independent panel that investigated the attacks of September 11th, 2001. The 9/11 Commission was was created in 2002 by Congress, and 15 months later issued a detailed report on its findings, which is public now. You can buy a copy of it and read it.
Okay.
February 16th, 2021. U.S. Representative. Okay. U.S. Representative Beanie Thompson, the chairman of the House Homeland Security Committee, sued Trump for conspiring to incite a violent assault at the Capitol. Thompson is represented by the NAACP, also named as the defendants of the federal civil lawsuit are Trump's former personal lawyer Giuliani, the Proud Boys, and the Oath Keepers. The lawsuit alleges that the defendants violated the 1871 Ku Klux Klan Act by preventing Congress from carrying out its constitutional duties by the use of force, intimidation, and threat. The law was first passed following the Civil War to combat the Ku Klux Klan violence against African Americans. And it actually did kill them off for a good amount of time until they came back in the 1920s.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sucks.
Yeah. You know what caused them to come back? The movie Birth of a Nation. That's what caused them to come back. Where, yeah.
A movie?
Yeah, that's the power of the movies, Jessica. Don't underestimate the power of the movies. Huh?
People are, I tell you, man.
Mm-hmm. Don't underestimate the
No.
power of the movies.
Yeah, okay.
They do stuff like that.
The power of dumb people that get all crazy over movies. Okay.
Yeah, that's what sometimes that happens. Watch that movie. It's the most racist thing you'll ever see.
Okay.
Yeah. Even though it was considered to be like one of the first blockbusters and everyone loved it for the time, but it's insanely racist. Let me see. Immediately after the attack, right-wing pro-Trump figures and outlets spread the lie that Antifa were actually to blame for the attack somehow. Although reportedly debunked, the disinformation campaign effectively spread the falsehood, which was promoted, among others, Republican Senator Ron Johnson. A poll released in February 2020 showed 58% of Trump voters believed that the event was mostly an Antifa-inspired attack. So, what do you say to that?
I don't know if it was Antifa inspired.
It was not Antifa-inspired.
It was just a mess, period.
Yeah. So, a number of states experienced demonstrations and armed protests at the state capitals or in the streets of January 6th, numbering in the dozens of hundreds of participants. The pro-Trump events remained without incident in Indiana, Minnesota, Nevada, Nebraska, Ohio, Arizona, Colorado, Kansas, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Texas, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. Precautionary measures such as closures of the state capitals and evacuation of members and staff were taken in several of the states in response to the events of Washington, D.C. In California, Georgia, Oklahoma, Oregon, and Washington, the events were marked by incidents or particular security concerns. Protests were again being held at the state capitals in the week before the inauguration. Internationally, Trump's allegations of a stolen election found a small audience among conspiracy theorists and fringe groups. In Canada, there were small pro-Trump rallies during the riots in Washington, D.C., and Calgary, Toronto, and Vancouver. At the Vancouver rally, CBC photojournalist Ben Nelms was assaulted by one of the demonstrators. In Japan, a few hundred people in Tokyo rallied in support of Trump hours before the rally in Washington, D.C., with several people carrying the U.S. flag and the rising sun flag, a controversial symbol in the East Asia because of the association with Japanese imperialism. So just imagine that, that's like their version of the Confederate flag. Does make sense? Okay. So the gathering in Tokyo was backed by Happy Science, a new religious movement. It has been described as a cult. In New Zealand, a week after the riot, about 100 participants attended a freedom rally outside the New Zealand Parliament in Wellington. The freedom rally was organized by conspiracy theorist and New Zealand Public Party leader Billy Te Kahika and featured several participants with pro-Trump banners and flags, thus ending the very, very, very long story of the 2021 storming of the United States Capitol.
Jesus. Well, it was a lot of information for sure.
Yeah.
And it's insane that we're even discussing it at all. Only because it's crazy to me that this kind of stuff happened. But in being in having Trump as our president for the last 4 years, you kind of knew something was gonna happen. Like it was just getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse as the time went by.
Yeah.
So something at the end was going to happen.
Yeah. And people refuse to hold him accountable.
And they refuse to hold themselves accountable.
Mm-hmm.
They
Because
think they've done nothing wrong.
yeah, because the people on in the Senate trial were basically Trump co-conspirators in the whole insurrection in the first place. So
A lot of people were, yeah.
yeah. There was a Cruz resign billboard outside on Loop 410 on the highway. It's not there anymore, but it was there for a while. So yeah, that kind of shows how we feel about it here in San Antonio.
Yeah.
So what do your pals think about all this?
My pals.
Yeah, your
I
pals.
we don't really talk about politics. I don't about politics too much with my friends.
Mm.
Because most of my friends are on the Republican side. So I tend to not even bother talking politics because it just turns into an argument. Even my mom and her husband are like that. I don't even want to go there.
Mm.
So I don't even bother.
How do they defend the insurrection?
I didn't really talk to anybody about it. I just talked to my mom about it, I think, and her husband. She just said it was crazy. And I don't remember his opinion on it because I honestly don't remember if that was the event that we were talking about. I just remember saying that us both agreeing that it was crazy, but that's about it.
Mm. Well,
Because it is crazy. It's crazy times, crazy people. But as far as people defend it all the time. Anthony works with people who are Trump supporters who think that what happened at the Capitol basically is what all the Democrats have been doing to verbally what all the Democrats have been doing to Trump and the Republicans the entire 4 years.
I don't see how that
But
justifies it.
it doesn't justify it at all. Not to me. And it's not even the same thing at
It's
all.
not the
They're
same
two
thing at all.
totally different things and people died.
Yeah, there's a difference between trying to do things like diplomatically and using straight up violence to like physically hurt people and trying to physically wish harm on people. And and if this thing were to happen, if this thing happened a little bit longer than, or a little, if the roots were set in a little bit deeper, then things would have been a lot worse for America, and that our democracy would have seriously been in trouble.
Yep. It was bad.
Yeah. And like so what do you think about Biden's work right now so far?
So far I think he's done really, really well. People are talking crap about the amount of executive orders that he passed. It's in like the first like month of him being president. But that's because he had a lot of stuff that he needed to take care of and fix that Trump went and did. That's the only reason why he had that many.
Right.
I
And
think he's done a lot
I think so
already.
too, and I think it was kind of funny because that was one of the things that the Republicans was used as a criticism of Biden, that he won't do enough, he doesn't do enough. But But now that he's actually in there and he's doing things, they're like, oh, he's doing too much.
He's doing too much, yeah.
Hmm.
No.
Yeah, but
I feel like he got all the little stuff out of the way, and now the big thing is what everybody's been waiting for, which is the COVID relief bill.
that seems to be his number one priority, and it seems to be that he's actually going to fulfill on his promise to get 100 million vaccinations in his first 100 days, and I think he's more than halfway there. Um, I like
I
the
don't know.
yeah, I like the fact that I don't hear about him every day.
Yeah,
Um,
that he's not. You don't have to wake up wondering, oh, what happened this time?
yeah, I like that he's not on social media all the time. Um, I like this boring president, and I like boring president, and it's what we need. And
I wouldn't call him boring. I would call him professional.
well, boring in my perspective, as in like I don't get to hear from
Trump
him.
Trump was boring in the sense that he was just a dumbo.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
it was that he would say stupid things that I
No,
was just like,
I
what the hell?
actually no. George Bush the second said stupid things. Trump said like vile things.
Yeah.
Because at least when Bush said dumb things, it was funny.
Hmm.
so like, um,
You're right.
so like, uh, um,
Um,
Biden.
uh.
Shut up, Biden. I wasn't a huge fan of him bombing Syria. I wasn't a huge fan of that.
Yeah.
No, you don't think so either.
Yeah. I like bobbies.
Yeah,
I don't like when we have to do stuff like that, but there's always a reason, and I don't know what this reason
the
was.
reason was is we need to keep our war in the Middle East because shut up,
Okay.
it's good for business.
Okay. In the meantime, do you know why the gas prices are going up? Does it have to do with this bill that Trump signed years ago?
I'm pretty sure it was because of the storm that happened. The demand went way up and the supply just remained the same.
Hmm. I have no
I
idea.
think that's the reason why.
Yeah.
Um, that's why people are coming in with like $17,000 power bills with certain people, with certain like power manufacturers, power providers. Uh, but yeah, you got anything more to say about the storming of the 2021 Capitol?
No, I'm just glad all of this is over. I really hope that he's not able to run again, but who knows? We'll see what happens. Um, but by then, all the people that were 18 years old, 16 years old, 17 years old, that were too young to vote will be able to vote.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully that'll help when the time comes around,
I don't know,
if
but
he does secure the Republican nomination.
I don't know. They might be dumb enough to do that again. I know they
I
they
think they
would.
will. McConnell was dumb enough to say it out loud and proud,
Hmm.
you know?
Then is it going to be like Biden running for re-election again? Is it going to be like a rematch again?
I think it might be.
I really hope not because I don't want this anymore.
I,
I don't want
I
more of
know a
that.
lot of people are upset about the borders being open now and people pouring in, and I don't know. People are just going berserko about that.
Why? What's
So,
happening? What are they doing to hurt things?
because the way Trump had it, everything was closed and nobody could come in, and if they came in, they had to go to those detention centers and be split up. And I think now it's changing with Biden being president.
Oh, so they want the concentration camps? They want
They
that?
want everything closed. Yeah, I don't
Europe
like
has
it.
open borders.
I don't like it, but whatever. It's just because I think it's our border, our Texas border. It seems to be like not where we're at, not like what is it? The Brownsville, and not right there, but more towards like El Paso
Mm.
up there. It seems to be kind of violent right in those areas
Oh yeah.
and on the border. So I don't know.
I mean, there are other states that are bordering. Mexico, like
That's the
Arizona and
only
New.
thing that they're concerned with. Because all they think is people are going to come over, bad people are going to come over. Only bad people are coming over here.
It's a very closed-minded
People that are
way.
trying to traffic, people that are trying to bring in drugs, people that are cartel murderers. That's the only people that are trying to come over here. Not people that are trying to actually run away from that and make a better life for themselves and their family. No, not
Yeah,
them. They're not coming over here.
really.
It doesn't make any sense to
Yeah,
me.
that seems like it's a very closed-minded way of thinking of things,
Mm-hmm.
thinking that everything that you don't know is evil. Um, yeah, it's a very medieval way of thinking things. Why was that? What was that eye thing you did?
You're right.
Yeah, and like and even so, you have to have faith in like our border security that they're going to be able to catch these people and not let them through.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why we have
Mm,
checkpoints and stuff.
we do.
Yeah, when I was coming up from the Rio Grande Valley, we have to go through the immigration checkpoint, and um, and I was with my sister Subin, who is not an American citizen. She is South Korean, um, and we had her take out her papers, and the immigration officer looked at us, and they did not think, they didn't even look at her once. They didn't ask her a single thing. They didn't ask to see a single bit of paper, and they let us through.
Well,
So
that's great. It's
it's
perfect. Good to know.
yeah, it goes to show you that they're not looking for Asian immigrants or Asian people who are not a citizen.
Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm. Makes you
Only
think.
Mexicans.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because it depends on who the security guy is. It depends on who they are. What
Mm-hmm.
you'll get, they'll just look. Sometimes some people they'll just look at you once and they'll be like, okay, you can go through. Other people would be like, they would just like stop you and be like, you're a citizen, and you'll be like, yeah, and then you'll be like, okay, you can go. Other people they'll just like ask questions like, where do you work? Where do you go to school? Like stuff like that. And then after you answer, they'll be like, okay, you can go. So that's my story with the immigration.
Oh, okay.
What's your
Very
story with you?
secure.
Yeah, what are you thinking? What's your story of this immigration?
I don't have any stories.
You never go through immigration?
No, I didn't really have to. I haven't really had to deal with that. I've had to deal with it like twice in my lifetime, but I've never had an issue with it.
Yeah, because you're a light skin.
Pero I'm Mexican.
Yeah, but you're a light skin.
Okay.
Just look at you. Just look at you in the video. Your pasty butt. Look at how pale you are. I'm kidding.
Yeah. You can see it makes the darkness under my eyes come out even more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right, we have 13 minutes left or 12 minutes left. What else? What else do you want to discuss?
We don't have anything else.
Well, okay. I guess that class ends early. Class ends early. Because like I remember when we started this, we were like, "Oh, this is gonna be." I thought it was gonna be like a four-parter. I thought we weren't gonna finish the rest, but it turns out we finished everything earlier than I expected it to. So it's
This thing
finally
was
done.
so long. Never again.
Never again.
Never again. We're
Why
gonna get a
not?
four-part freaking thing.
You don't want a four-parter.
No.
You only want to do
Nobody
two.
else wants a four-parter either, right, guys? That's
No,
why
you
it's
want a
not.
four-parter. It's very entertaining.
No. Who the hell?
Okay. How about okay? So two parts max for you.
Yeah.
Okay. 3 parts maybe.
Nope.
Yeah. Okay. We'll discuss it. No, it's okay. We'll do two parts. 2 parts max. All right. But next ones will be a lot better. Well, it will not be a lot better. It'll be a lot shorter. Like it'll definitely just be a 1 episode thing.
Good.
What do you mean good? Who are you talking to?
Kaden, he doesn't know when to leave me alone.
Isn't he have school tomorrow?
Spring break.
Is that a yes?
Spring break.
I remember spring break. All I did was
Yeah.
nothing.
All you did was stay on spring break since last year.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. So now they're back on spring break again. It's been a whole year.
Yeah, and it is around the same time I did my spring break was when this whole thing started. And now it's like a full year again. And it's still not.
Aw.
We're getting there. We're getting
COVID
there.
anniversary for
Yeah.
when the kids got locked down.
Yeah. It's getting better. It's getting better, but it's we got to keep doing what we're doing. We can't just stop like certain people in Texas. Am I right? What?
Yeah.
Did you hear that Abbott like rescinded all the COVID-19 restrictions and the remove the mask mandate?
He didn't rescind it. All he said was, I think people should still wear their mask, but it's now not a mandate or law. Like the way he's explaining it is, I'm lifting the mandate, I'm lifting the rules, like the laws that are making this be enforced. So now it's up to the businesses to decide if and what they want to do, and that people should still be responsible and wear a mask.
It's so dumb. It's like saying I don't want to be responsible for anything anymore.
Pretty much. So now it's on the businesses if they want to enforce it still. And I know a lot are, but my fear is for the service people that are now going to have to encounter people that don't want to wear their mask. And I know that there's going to be a lot of pushback
Mm-hmm.
and like for what? It's
I
just a
mean,
pain in the butt.
yeah,
But now it really is on the businesses.
yeah. They'll still enforce it the same way they've always been enforcing it, but there will be more people than usual not knowing anything about anything. Um, and they'll be like, "Oh, well, the governor said no more masks because they're really Antifa," and stuff like that. And they're coming to get our guns. The masks are.
Well, I know a lot
Let
of
me in or I'll shoot
people.
you. Yep.
It's kind of like going to a store and they have a sign up that says no shoes, no shirt, no service. That's their right to not serve anybody that doesn't follow their rules.
Yeah, but they didn't say anything about no pants. Oh.
So yeah, so
So
that's the only thing I fear.
I
Is
get to not wear pants.
please no, no,
But it didn't say on this sign.
come on, man.
It's funny.
Nah,
It's a good joke.
nah.
If you want to see my stand up, check me out at the Laugh Factory.
Okay.
Really? Admission's $50 with a
Okay.
5 drink minimum. Even I think the drink minimums are to make people more susceptible to laugh, even if the
Yeah,
jokes
sure.
aren't funny.
Hmm.
All right, so yeah, are you gonna still wear your mask?
Yeah, for sure. And I told my kids that they're still wearing their masks
Yeah,
everywhere we go. If
yeah.
I take them anywhere.
Did they say no? We don't have to anymore in your face.
No, Caden's so all pissed off. He was all mad about it. He was like,
Really?
I can't believe that. Now everybody's gonna die. Now all the numbers are gonna go back up. He
Mm.
was so upset.
Yeah, I'd be
So,
upset too, because then this will go on even more, even
I know.
longer. It feels like it's been like this forever.
He really has. It really does feel
Mm.
like forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm
What
tired, dude.
What are you gonna do when things go back to normal?
I don't know. I don't know. I just want to be able to take my toddler into a store without having to worry about her wearing a mask. She hasn't been. I took her one time to a store to HEB to buy cupcakes so she could take to daycare. And that was it. I knew we weren't going to be in there that long. So
Mm.
that's why I was like, okay, because she's not one to be able to keep a mask on. Like she's constantly like, "Ugh, take it off." So take her in real quick, got the cupcakes and came out. And she remembers that because that's the last time I took her. She was like, "Yes, remember the cupcakes?" And her birthday was in December. It's been that long since I've taken her to a store. And before that, it was even longer. I just want to be able to go into the store with her without having to worry about anything at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know what
Who knows?
you know what I want to do? I want to start touching people's faces again.
Oh, don't do that.
Why not?
Why?
It's
Keep your hands
funny.
to yourself, bro.
It's funny. It's for a prank channel, okay? It's for a prank TikTok, okay? I'm kidding. I don't do that. But what I really want to do is to be able to, go to a restaurant with my family again.
That'd be nice.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
That would be nice, but
I miss your parents.
mm-hmm.
They're fun.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully soon. Maybe what?
They're a fun bunch.
Okay. Well, hopefully by summer. Hopefully,
that'd be cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's the 2021 U.S. Capitol, whatever, storming of the poop, and part tres, and we're finally done with it, and that's it. We're done. Dunzo. We're wrapping it up. Okay. I've been Nathaniel Avila.
I've been Jessica Vega.
And we have been the podcast bunch.
So tired of this part 3, part 4, part 17.
You should do part 17. That's a great idea.
So glad it's over.
It's over now.
It's over.
Yeah, yeah. So we're done. That's it. We're going to new topic next time in a fortnight, and it's going to be a good one. Our lovely Miss Jessica Vega is going to be leading this one, and it's going to be great. So now I won't have to keep on talking without any water and then coughing my lungs out. All right,
you guys.
Yeah, I've been Nathaniel Avila, Jessica Vega, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Thank you for listening to a Vision podcast, home of wacky talkies, The Kingdom, Evil Exists, and many more.